Hello, hello. This is the 30-second test from the future, an experimental podcast from the year 2221, which you are trying to send back in time as far as possible. My name is Dirk.
And my name is Simon.
And we're putting the past in podcast. So, Simon, it's the 32nd episode.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the second episode that is actually properly done.
Correct, yeah. Last episode rather. That was the first one where we had confirmation. Well, so the one before it, I guess, was the one that actually got through. Last week was the one where we confirmed that we had sent a message back in time to Gustav. And now it's assuming that works, which we do, this will be the second one.
Yeah.
Second proper episode. If you are hearing this, please do write to us, let us know. In the subject line, include the episode number. What was it again?
32.
32 in the subject line. The email address again is michaellasagna5@gmail.com, just so we can confirm that these are still going back in time and being received.
Yeah, that's true. We were really excited last time because our test, I think it was the 29th test, that actually got through. Because every test we did, we tried different technology, asking people, please email us when you hear this, seeing how far back we got. And then we actually managed. And then last time, we were super excited because we were recording a real podcast episode using the technology that reached the year...
200 years ago, yeah?
Yeah,
exactly. It was a round number, like 200 precisely, which was pretty handy.
But then... we did the real episode and we didn't get a single email response.
Indeed. And I mean, it could be that it didn't work, of course. That's why we're asking every time for people to write to us when they have heard it. Could also be that people heard it and just didn't bother replying, in which case that's really rude.
Yes, exactly.
You don't have to say much, yeah, but just at least send an email with this episode number in the subject that we have confirmation.
And maybe it did just reach Gustav.
Right, and he, for whatever, either didn't get the second one or got it and just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah.
In which case, Gustav, that's really rude.
Or maybe he died.
Now, I hadn't considered that, sure. That's also possible.
Which would also be pretty rude because he's our only listener.
Yeah. Or whatever machine or device he was receiving the episodes on broke.
Yeah.
That would suck.
But Gustav, if you're still out there, you're hearing this, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody else hears this, also.
I mean, for us, you're long dead, so in that sense, we don't care. But we still care about you, Gustav.
That's true, actually. Yeah, that's... I don't want to think about that. We're just speaking to...
No. He's still alive for us, hopefully. We don't, because we want, but we care about you, Gustav. Write to us to let us know that you got this message.
Exactly. But it's also... we've been doing many tests with many different technologies, and we've been using the low-fidelity wave burner set to -19...
It's dialed in there, and now I don't remember.
Exactly, like it worked. Don't touch it.
Exactly.
and that worked, and so we're now using this, and this is now the third episode and the second proper one that we're using this technology for. So, we didn't touch it. We assume it still works.
Should still. I mean, that's. Oh, let's not go there. Yep, let's assume it will work. It's no fun if we have to set a different value
every time. Oh man, we're going crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if we work out the pattern, great. If we don't work out the pattern, oh no.
Oh man, I'm not sure if I can do it again.
No.
But it's so the ideas we speak about or modern day technology. Of course, we're living in the year 2221. Things have changed. We're assuming.
I mean, they definitely changed over the last few decades, and so it wouldn't make sense that a few decades ago things were. So 170 years before that, somehow identical to they are today.
Yeah, exactly.
There'll have been changes in the last 200 years.
We don't know exactly what kind of technology you guys
That's
have.
More the point, yeah. We don't know exactly. Right, we don't know 200 years previous to now. We don't know what it was like exactly because it's too long ago,
Yeah, I mean, it's history. Like you guys did, like it was after the dinosaurs.
Right, decades blur together is the thing.
Yeah.
And in a human lifetime, at least back then, people didn't live to 130 odd like they do now, so... Within a human lifetime, a few decades. So, say you were born in 1920 to 1990. There were a whole lot of changes in those 70 years.
Yeah.
So that's why it kind of all blurs together for us.
So it could be that we're speaking about something super excited, thinking it's super new for you guys, and you are ahead it already. So we're trying to stick to relatively new things.
Right, recent for us.
And then last week we spoke about the teleporter, and then we spoke about a bunch of topics in all the small tests that we did. We spoke about a teleporter last time, and what shall we speak about today?
So the short name for it, which we'll refer to it nearly always, is Congos, and they're food conglomerators. And now I think about it, they're called food conglomerators, but it's a bit like it's a thing where that was its original purpose, only to conglomerate food, but we pretty much use it for everything now. You can say to it or ask it to make you something, and it will make it.
Yeah. It's they're pretty cool. I mean, what I like is that if you run out of, let's say, plates. I don't know anybody who runs out of plates, but
I mean,
let's say
you have a Congo, you don't run out of plates. But sure, we would not even imagine. Yeah, before the Congo existed, you ran out of plates. You'd need to go get some from somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
You couldn't just have more plates in your house instantly.
But it's like I remember my door broke, so it couldn't make a door.
It couldn't.
No. So I guess there are maybe bigger ones, or they just do this other way.
Sure.
So
Right, yeah. A door's pretty big.
It does have its limits. So I mean, I guess also the size. I couldn't imagine a door coming out of the thing.
Sure. You could imagine like parts of a door coming out. You'd need to assemble it, I guess. But
to be honest, it's like 95% of the stuff that I use it for is still food.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's disposable. It's like day to day. You're not needing new plates or new chairs that often. But food, you need that pretty much every day.
Yeah. So, which brand do you have?
It's a local one. Monchal.
Wow, I don't even know this one.
No, but they're pretty good. They taste nice.
Okay.
The food that comes out of it.
I got one from Green Cell.
Those guys.
You
mentioned them, I think, last time.
Yeah, they're the same guys that make the teleporters. Mm-hmm. So, or that I know it's that. But they also make teleporters, but they basically have the teleporter network.
Okay, not just the devices, but the infrastructure.
Yeah. I mean, they had this thing, I think it was 2 years ago, where they had like this massive campaign where they released basically products in every kind of category. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I was just hyped. At least my old one wasn't working properly anymore, so I needed a new one anyway. I jumped on a bandwagon, and it's, the nicest thing about it is that it's actually green. I like
the color.
Yeah, I like the color. Yeah, it's because that's what I like.
Like a deep emerald green, a light minty green. What?
I mean, it's basically the Green Cell green. So it's a light emerald one. Yeah. And which is what I like, and which is probably the reason that I bought it. And
that's good reason.
Yeah, but I mean, it works. So
the Monchal I've got is brown. Which, I mean, I got it because it works well. It tastes good, the food that comes out of it. But sure, I didn't take into account how the machine itself would look.
I mean, what I have to say is about the Green Cell, they're not like perfect, but they really have the connectivity down. Because of course the whole Pebble network was already installed. And
sure.
At least I know my sister, when she had hers installed, it didn't work. So you have a really fancy new Congo, and doesn't work because the Pebble network didn't connect to it.
Right. Wait, was it? Had she moved to a new house, or?
No.
Had there been a change in the?
No, her old one broke down.
The machine broke.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And then she got a new one.
I see.
But she didn't check. I mean, to be honest, I didn't know you had different connections and then different networks and blah 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 blah. But of course, it's Green Cell, market leader.
Okay, so I got lucky with this Monchal that I've not had any such issues. Or maybe I got lucky. If there are such compatibility issues, I've not run into them.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a local one. It should work at least with the local Pebble network.
Yeah. Right. Of course, I move somewhere far away and take it with me. Maybe it's no good, but right here, it's all good.
To be honest, I don't know exactly the pebbles how they're made.
I mean, I also know how. I know, we all our rubbish, all our leftovers, all our packaging, whatever, throw them into the chute. They get whisked away by the garbage men in their nice limousines, and then it gets processed somewhere. I also don't know the details. I've not been to one of their plants. And then the pebbles come through the pipes into my house, and those pebbles go into the machine, into the Congo.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Yes, I knew Erase was processed like that, but I didn't know the whole process.
I guess maybe they have open days, but maybe it smells funny. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but I hear a lot of cool things about the garbage plants, right? Because stuff that goes in is not stuff that we really don't want anymore, and the stuff that comes out is what everybody wants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
I was actually doing a bit of reading on this subject, and so we've had this stuff for a while. Like I think at least 50 years. This kind of technology has existed. This idea where you put your rubbish into one place, it processes it, and then what comes out of it is stuff that then you feed into this machine that can make. Like I say, at the start, it really was just for food, but by now also just day-to-day stuff like plates and toilet paper and whatever. Anyway, but at the start, it ran at which way around would it be? So you say you wanted an item, so you wanted a plate of chips. You need to put in the equivalent matter, like of rubbish and garbages and stuff, 10 times that in volume.
Whoa.
And so, but this was by design. It was because there was a huge problem with just these huge mountains of waste all over the whole planet.
Really?
Yeah, because before this technology existed, what did you do with old stuff like that? Some stuff like precious metals or whatever got recycled, but for the most part it was just dumped. Because what else are you going to do with it? Was the idea back then. Anyway, so this system was designed, the Congo system was designed specifically to use up that waste and convert it into stuff that people needed, like food. But at the start, there was so much waste that they purposely designed it that it needed 10 times the volume of input for the output, which was great to start with. After about 30 years, all the waste was used up. And then, again, for a while, hey, cool, there's no huge mountains of rubbish everywhere. But then they got into the problem where, okay, I want a plate of chips, but I don't have 10 times worth of stuff around.
Is that when the prices went up really? My grandpa told me about this. That for a time, the prices of pebbles were through the roof and everybody... Right. And then they all went back to producing their own food. Okay. I heard about this. So that was the reason.
And then what was weird was... So not even weird. So then it turned out the reason... that issue happened, that everything got so expensive, was because the people who designed the system, who knew that it was designed this way on purpose to require a greater input, they had either retired or died. The people who were in the companies then didn't realize that this was a design thing, that it could be changed, basically. They thought, okay, that's just how it works. You need 10 times... It
is just super inefficient, but that's how things are.
Yeah, I mean, it's still pretty cool, as a technology, but it needs 10 times. But no, actually, they could adjust that. So they made it 1-to-1. All is good.
1-to-1, really? Completely?
Yeah. And it actually can even go the other way, but then you run into problems of too much waste again, so they leave it at 1-to-1. It can be tweaked. Software updates, It's not like a hard and fast thing. Basically, it adjusts according to needs. Like, as more waste produced, okay, put it up to 2-to-1. Not enough. Oh, crap, we've got nothing to feed into this thing. Put it down to half to 1, or,
It really works like that?
It's pretty fancy.
Because I also heard that there are let's say pebbles that are made of just a certain type of material.
Okay, yeah.
Where, I mean, at least that what I hear, there's this wave where people just have their food made of a certain type of pebble.
So, the food that comes out will be whatever. Yeah, they're not always eating the same meal.
No, exactly.
Right, but the pebbles that go into the Congo are made of only one thing. Yeah, not hey, this is a combination of packaging and used up newspapers and stuff.
They were saying trees, basically natural material, which in reality is mostly trees.
Okay. So please tell me more.
Yeah, it's like I don't know the details, but it's. I'm trying to remember who told me this. I think it was Theo, who said that basically, if they're building new houses now, they put in 2 pebble networks, like the standard one
and the
exactly. I think
better one.
Yeah, exactly. It's called the natural one, natural pebbles or something.
Okay, so
like
it's a guaranteed supply of pebbles that have only been produced from natural materials.
Natural material.
So natural is the weird way of putting it. Unprocessed. So materials that haven't previously been processed.
Or maybe grown or something like that have been
specifically grown.
Yes, but it's basically
plants.
Plants, exactly. A plant would be a good one.
Yeah, which themselves are processing stuff from... But I know you.
But it's not stone.
It's not the same as throwing into a machine a bunch of crap.
It's not stone, it's not metal, it's not dust or whatever. It's basically plant. And
does it make a difference?
Theo claims it does. So I guess
but it shouldn't. Yeah, the way the Congo works, it's breaking down the pebbles into atoms and then rearranging those atoms into whatever. at an atomic level, I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter whether the atom came from a plant, from a tree, or from some smashed up plate.
I think it's kind of like a placebo thing, it's half marketing, half placebo. So it just makes something up, make it sound nice. People believe it.
Especially for food. You can imagine, hey, I'm eating food. Sure, I want the stuff that goes into it to be maybe not food, but plants at least.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, and if you have that in your house, and you have the choice, do I connect it to the, let's say, cheaper everyday pebbles, or do I connect it to the natural Pebble Network? And then, it costs more, but then I have natural food.
That's okay. It's so that's such a recent development. I just don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I also don't really care. And I mean, at least that's what Theo was saying. Yeah. But I bet if you put on a blindfold, then you don't really.
You can try it one day.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Get some, especially with food. So food. There's the taste. So taste, texture, smell aspect to it. Nutritious, yeah. Like, do you actually say you eat only the high grade stuff for a week, and then the next week only the low grade stuff? Do you actually feel better or worse?
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, but then also your daily stuff, like I keep saying plates, but like household stuff. Does it feel nicer? Does it look nicer? I mean, but looks and that's to do with the designs that you use.
Yeah. Yes, true.
The patterns. I assume it's to do. So that would be the idea. You use exactly the same patterns with different inputs and see if it is any different.
It's a good point that you bring up, like the patterns. For me, I have the super basic subscription. So it's basically I can have. I think there's 3,000 recipes in there or so. I don't know actually how many there are. Enough for me.
Yeah.
And that's basically, I think it's the cheapest subscription that you can have.
Yeah.
Where you have just an unlimited amount of meals or food, but just those.
Yeah, for food, I also have the basic plan. I use it's not even fancy exactly. Basically, for my household stuff. It's more. I have the subscription where you get the designs, which are just less ornamental. There's less detailing and textures and stuff like that, because I prefer my household stuff smoother and with less nooks and crannies.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like that.
For me, it's. I mean, I know enough people that have fancier subscriptions, right?
Yeah,
so they visit me. We can have spaghetti bolognese, and when I visit them, we can have spaghetti bolognese with cheese.
Do they ever do the thing where when they come around your house, they just sign in with their account, to make some food, whatever, like from their subscription, and then just for the day?
We've done that, but it's tricky controlling the Congo with a voice that is not connected to your person.
Right.
Basically, I mean, we put it in, and then
they need to do the ordering.
Exactly, it's like the person needs to do the order, and has to match the subscription, and has to match the Congo ownership.
Sure, right.
So
same, yeah.
But of course you can have it where you use a VPN to connect to your Congo, sit in my apartment, order food through your PA, through your Congo, teleport back to your apartment and get the stuff.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, and it does.
Yeah.
But
it's getting too much hassle. Yeah, it's easier if you just have a subscription to whatever you actually want, and then say to it, "Give me the thing." It gives you the thing.
I mean, sometimes I think, oh man, this Congo is too complicated. It's too much work. It's such a hassle. Having your food produced.
Bit high maintenance.
Yeah, but I remember the down to earth camps. They didn't have Congos there.
No,
they had basically actual food. Fruit from trees.
Yeah.
And then you have
the trees that go into the fancy pebbles.
Yeah.
No. Those, I mean, instead of feeding the trees in, they use the trees to grow the food that then they eat.
Exactly, and then instead
Which, I mean, it's fine. It's how things were for so long. It's just really inefficient compared to what we do now.
Yeah, exactly. But that was also the thing where you think, oh man, the Congo is always such a hassle, and then sometimes it has to restart, and then sometimes the pebbles get stuck and stupid stuff like this. So sometimes you get really fed up, and then you go to one of these camps and you spend 3 days chopping up your own fruit. Okay, forget about this.
Yeah.
Then I'm happy to see my Congo.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. don't really have much else to say.
No, I mean, we want people to write to us. Hey,
Exactly.
they can ask us questions.
It does make me hungry, the topic, though.
Yes.
So maybe we should get some spaghetti bolognese.
I was thinking Indian food, but yep, I get both. That's the advantage. You have a tree in your garden that gives you Indian food or spaghetti bolognese. You can only have one. Okay, you can have two trees, but say you've only got the one tree. You can only have that thing. With a Congo, you can have both really easily.
Exactly. Then maybe to close off, the email address again.
Yep, michaellasagna5@gmail.com, michaellasagna5@gmail.com.
And it's episode 32, so put it in the subject so we know that you hear this. Okay, so I would say thanks for listening, Gustav and everybody else. And see you in 200 years.
Bye-bye.